And what's astonishing is that the very disciples of Christ actually proclaimed that it was Jesus who died and rose again. Does that mean that the disciples were deceived into thinking their Lord was crucified? Because in reality, He wasn't. Now with that said, let's talk about the dilemma. According to the Qur'an, in 2 places, the true followers of Christ were given victory over the disbelievers, and Allah personally promised Jesus that His true followers would be dominant until the day of resurrection. Allah, according to the Qur'an, promised Jesus saying, your followers will be superior till the day of resurrection, and I will give them victory over the disbelievers. In 2 passages this is stated. Chapter 3 of the Qur'an, verse 55. Let me know how I'm doing that time. Oh, you can go to midnight? Okay, I started what time? Just go.
7:20.
Okay, what time would you like me to cut off for a question? Give me an idea.
How much time do you want to spend answering questions?
I could be here all night, I don't mind. Depending if we have Muslims here who want to ask me questions.
We gotta end between 9 and 9:30.
Okay, let me try to do this within 20 more minutes. Let's see if I can. Because I want to open the remainder of time for questions. I prefer questions from the audience, specifically the Muslims, if we have it. In chapter 3, verse 55, what does it say?
And remember when Allah said, O Isa, Jesus, I will take you and raise you to myself and clear you of the lies of those who blaspheme me. And I will make those who follow you above those who reject faith to the day of judgment.
I'll make those who what?
Oh.
Follow you, what?
Sorry, last one.
It's okay, it's the second part of the verse.
Okay. I will make those who follow you above those who reject faith
Till when?
to the day of judgment.
So Allah told Jesus upon His ascension, I will make your followers superior above those who disbelieve till when? Till Islam? Till the 7th century when Muhammad comes and preaches Islam? Or till the day of resurrection? What does the passage say? Till the day of resurrection, right? Right, so the judgment day, the day of resurrection, Jesus' followers would be dominant over against the disbelievers. This is Allah's promise to Jesus. The question is, was this fulfilled? Did Allah keep His promise? Well, if you're a Muslim, you're going to have to say, yes, He did. Allah cannot fail. But that puts you in a dilemma. And here's the dilemma. The Christians who prevailed and succeeded, and their message prevailed against all other messages, is the very message you read in the New Testament today. Right? If this passage is true, then the true followers of Christ prevailed, and their message spread, and would spread till the day of resurrection. Now, if you look historically, which message triumphed over the other so-called Gospels? It's the Gospel as recorded and preserved in the New Testament, which some Muslims would call, quote-unquote, Pauline Christianity. And again, just to preface my comment for the Christians here, Muslims believe that Paul corrupted Christianity. In fact, some Muslims would go so far to say that Paul was an antichrist who contradicted the teachings of Christ. Let's assume that's true. Historically, there is no truth to that. Because the very disciples of Christ gave Paul the right hand of fellowship and confirmed that his gospel was their gospel. But let's assume that argument is true. What does that do to the promise of Allah? Let's assume it's true. Paul corrupted Christianity and the message of the followers of Christ. That means instead of the true followers prevailing, an antichrist triumphed over the followers of Christ, falsifying the Qur'an. What do you do with that? But wait, if the Qur'an is right, then Paul was a true disciple of Christ. But if he's a true disciple of Christ, whom God used to spread the message, the Qur'an is still wrong because it contradicts the message of Paul. You see the dilemma? But there's another passage. Chapter 61, verse 14. And I'm going to quote the commentators, the exegetes, so that you won't accuse me, no, that's your spin of the passage, you're a Christian. No. I'm going to show you this is actually the explanation of some of the greatest Muslim exegetes of all time, such as Al-Qurtubi, Al-Tabari. Muslims know who I'm talking about. For those of you, when you say Qurtubi, Al-Tabari, it's like speaking of Augustine or Athanasius, if you know church history. Chapter 61, verse 14 of the Qur'an. What does it say? Verse 14. It's after chapter 60.
Thank you. O you who believe, become you the helpers in the cause of Allah. And Isa, Jesus, the son of Mary, said to the followers, disciples, who will be my helper to the work of Allah? said the followers, disciples, "We are Allah's helpers." Then a portion of the children of Israel believed and a portion disbelieved. So we gave power to those who believed against their enemies, and they became the ones who won.
So who prevailed, who won by the power of Allah? The true followers. But again, if Paul corrupted Christianity, then the true followers failed. Allah didn't help them. Now if you're a Muslim, can you opt for that explanation? Can you agree that Paul corrupted Christianity in light of the teachings of the Qur'an, that the true followers were given power over against the disbelievers and be dominant